In this episode, we will talk about reasons why you should never move to the Philippines. Don't just listen to me, listen to other expats that have been here that share their stories. I'm in my 30s and have been living in the Philippines for 3 years. I own a house here, but I'm now planning to return to the US with my Filipino wife next year. There are massive problems here that stem from the attitudes of the people. People don't treat pets or children well here. They are very inconsiderate and uncouth. There is constant noise, barking, karaoke, etc. Even in wealthier gated communities, you will almost definitely have water and electricity issues. If you ever have to do anything that involves the government, it will be a nightmare because they have nonsensical laws and policies. Property costs more than it should, but the Philippines is not cheap. The list goes on. Before I came to the Philippines, I thought Filipinos were hardworking and intelligent. Well, many are, but those Filipinos leave the Philippines. The ones that stay tend to be far less impressive. It's a great country to meet and marry a great woman if you find the right one that doesn't scam you, that doesn't want just your money, that actually loves you. But that's also getting more difficult these days since online dating has become extremely popular and women have access to anyone practically all around the world. The overall cost of living is cheaper, but not very cheap, and you always get what you pay for. Someone responds by saying, I agree with your assessment after living here for 10 months. I would also add that you have to be careful with women. You can find a good one, but there are also a lot of bad ones. Dapper Strike says, yeah, I have a house in the subdivision in Mindanao. The problems I have here are a neighbor's barking dog, though it doesn't bark all the time and usually not at night, which is better than most situations I've heard. And loud bass at night comes from outside of the community and I can't figure out where it is. I'm able to drown out most noises with a loud fan. I'm glad you were able to find good places, but after a few years here, I'm already getting back to the US and I'm thinking about it. I'm keeping the house just because it's in my wife's city and her parents could watch over it. Burlox says, I was happy to leave Mindanao. After living there 7 years, people do not like rules. There's rampant crab mentality and I've never experienced such jealous, envious population. Streets are filthy, covered in trash, and building mess everywhere. Also, the nation's worst drivers. By worst, I mean most dangerous. People who think they own both sides of the road. The electric supply there is, from my experience, obviously I haven't lived everywhere, the worst in the country, and more expensive than where I am now in Luzon, which doesn't even go down during typhoons. I used to look forward to having a break from the country and go to my home country a few weeks to visit my family when I lived in Mindanao. The place was a major cause for my high blood pressure. Moving from there was one of the best decisions of my life. Creative World says, so many lives here in the Philippines. BGC is like living in a soulless mall. The food options in the Philippines is extremely limited. It's difficult to even get a good slice of pizza and a cup of coffee, no matter where you are. The condos are extremely noisy, with horrible staff, mediocre amenities, and xenophobic neighbors that hate foreigners. I notice you don't talk about all the gossiping and exclusionary tactics locals use on foreigners, not to mention all the scams they commit on foreigners because they don't want to work or improve themselves at all. Just going to the Bureau of Immigration, Cebu, you are inundated with incompetence and corruption. Trying to get a mad driver's license was the most idiotic and difficult experience ever. What with all the moronic, useless security guards everywhere? Do we really need more Filipino dudes standing around talking crap all day? They actually ruined the experience of some of the nicest hotels and condos. Everywhere you go in the Philippines, from the top to the bottom, and in between, is the same thing. The same stores, restaurants, layouts, mindsets, and actions. Customer service everywhere is terrible. Parents raise their children to be hateful towards foreigners or basically anyone that's not like them. Drive around Lapu-Lapu and tell me That's how you do some things, right? Then fly to Malaysia and see if there's something different. Philippines is way too poor and stupid for most to stay. Let's be real. Creative World says, I am done with this place. It is so god awful bad there, I can't even list them all. We give up so much to be there. The country is a hot mess of utter catastrophe. The infrastructure, the food, the people, the culture, it's just bad. The incompetence and corruption is bad as well. I was in Baguio and thought I was going to die in the earthquake. I have been in many earthquakes in my life, and oh my, one other time I thought I was going to be hurt, but the building was so old and shitty that I thought I was going to die. It's congested to the point you can't barely walk around without feeling claustrophobic. There's no sidewalks to walk on. You basically walk on the street with traffic and scooters, cars, buses, trucks, etc. It's like they decided to just do everything the wrong way. What really surprised me was how xenophobic, disrespectful, and dishonest the people are. I could go on for hours about how shitty that country is. I did meet one nice woman, which made me want to stay there. I just say do not fall for the girl that steals from foreigners to give to her Filipino boyfriend or husband that they refer to as their cousin. It's actually encouraged in their culture to rip off foreigners. The men in their families push them to do so. They don't have to work or do anything all day but gossip. As you can see, many people feel very strongly about the Philippines, not just me and this channel. Many people are sharing their experiences, that it's not just good things, that it's not just sunshine, rainbows, and butterflies. It's not just paradise. Those were some reasons to never live in the Philippines. Best comment from yesterday is from Daniel Borsov, €2, thanks. Jin Kazama has the best comment that is not a super thanks. Online dating has always been in favor of women, to be honest. Why does she start ghosting you and not replying to your messages anymore? Because your message got buried down to the bottom of her inbox because of all the new messages that she kept receiving from countless men. Online dating is a buffet for women. The worst comment is from Travel Love for Life. There's nothing wrong with starting a relationship online for the first few years. You have to be shitting me. A few years online dating? What is wrong with you? How much time do you have to waste? Thanks for watching. God bless.